die, man.
Okay,
Ralphie!
Okay, I hear you. You can edit that out, right? Oh, here we go.
Hey, don't touch it!
Hi everyone, I'm Sarvesh here. So welcome to this documentary video on SDG 16, Violence Against Children. The Sustainable Development Goal SDG 16 is focused on promoting peaceful and inclusive societies, which includes the elimination of violence against children. One of the forms of violence against children is child abuse and child grooming. Child abuse refers to any intentional harm or mistreatment to a child, while child grooming refers to the act of building an emotional connection with a child with the intention of exploiting them sexually. Child abuse and grooming have devastating effects on the physical, emotional, and mental well-being of children. They can lead to a long-term physical and psychological trauma, affecting a child's development ability to form healthy relationship in the future. Moreover, child abuse and grooming can also lead to the spread of sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancy. Abuse and grooming are serious crimes that require immediate attention and action. Unfortunately, they often go unnoticed and unreported, allowing perpetrators to continue their abusive behavior. It is crucial for society to raise awareness about the issue and to educate children, parents, and caregivers about the signs of abuse and grooming. Through interviews with experts, survivors, and advocates, we will examine the root causes of child abuse and grooming, the signs and symptoms to watch out for, and the legal and social mechanisms that are in place to prevent and to respond to this crime. The significance of SDG 16 and its focus on violence against children cannot be overstated. It is a call to action for society to come together and take a stand against child abuse and grooming. It is a reminder that every child has the right to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment, free from harm and exploitation. By working together to achieve SDG 16, we can create a better future for the children of today and to generations to come. We hope that this documentary will raise awareness about the importance of SDG 16 in protecting children's rights and inspire individuals, communities, and institutions to take action to prevent and combat child abuse and grooming.
Hello everyone, it's Marcella here. For this section of the video, I'm going to share with you guys one short movie clips and also a brief explanation about a very serious case that is going on in Malaysia, and it is related to our chosen SDG, which is violence against children. So without further ado, let's continue to the video. The first movie that we'll talk about is The Tale, which is a highly acclaimed drama film directed by Jennifer Fox and released in 2018. Child violence can manifest in different forms. So this movie is a deeply personal and autobiographical exploration of the director's own experience of sexual abuse as a child and her subsequent reevaluation of her memories.
You told me it was a good thing all these years.
It was.
The story depicts a relationship she had with two adults, which
that
she had previously
That doesn't
perceived
make it good.
as a
You want me to
consensual
be
and
some
loving relationship.
pathetic victim?
As Jennifer
you know
visits her
what? I'm
memories,
not.
she realizes the
got
unsettling
something no
truth
one
that
else does.
she was actually a victim of
teacher
child
now.
sexual abuse. Here
Not
in the
just
scene, we
some
could see the
invisible
adult Jennifer
You'll
is
never
having a
get
talk
married.
with young Jennifer,
I don't
and we
wanna
could
get
see
married.
how the grooming
Has
impacts on
nobody
her,
listened
such
to
as
me?
trust and
You'll never
emotional
have children.
manipulation,
I
distorted
hate
perception of
Jennifer.
love,
I
self-blame,
don't wanna
and
have children,
confusion.
I'm sure of that. But I know one thing. He loved me.
In this scene, we
Cried.
could see her abuser manipulates
Cried
young
and she
Jennifer by distorting Jennifer's understanding
for
of love and
years.
affection. He presents the relationship as
cards.
consensual and portrays himself as a caring figure, blurring the lines between love and abuse. This manipulation makes it difficult for Jennifer to recognize the abuse as such.
You see, I'm not the victim of this story. I'm the hero. He fell apart, not me.
You couldn't even think that their lives might continue without you. That there would be others. You froze him in time, didn't you? But you know, he's still alive, and I'm gonna go see him now.
No.
Next is a very big case in Malaysia involving Siti Bainun, the home founder of Rumah Bonda, who was found guilty of neglect and abuse involving a Down syndrome teenager known as Bella. She had abused the teenage girl on a daily basis for almost 4 months. Netizens have come together on social media platforms, specifically on Twitter and Instagram, to show support for the 13-year-old Bella. Twitter has been flooded with strong-worded tweets under the hashtag Justice for Bella, sending a strong message on the alleged abuse inflicted upon the teenager. After a long-standing case, Siti Bainun has been found guilty by the Sessions Court of 2 counts of neglect and abuse. Hence, she had been handed a jail sentence of 12 years in prison.
Okay, so the first question is, what are your thoughts on child abuse and child grooming, and how would you define child grooming?
Okay, let's look at the issue of child abuse. When we talk about child abuse, there are many kinds of abuse. It can be verbal abuse, physical abuse. Most of the time, it's divided into that. Verbal, physical. The cases of child abuse are always, how would I say, there are always cases like this. It's something very sad, especially when these are children who are innocent and children who do not know or do not know how to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong. And what makes it even scarier, if I use the word, is that the abuse is done by people known and who are familiar to these children. I think that's a very sad thing, because children easily trust people, and it's a question of them giving distrust and then having it destroyed in the process, which will scar their lives. When it comes to grooming, this is something, in fact, it's been happening, but I think it's not been given a lot of highlights in recent years. It's only becoming something very prominent, I would say.
Yeah.
And there are many kinds of grooming. There's always sexual grooming. That seems to be the most prominent one, sexual grooming. And again, the innocence of the child is compromised here, because children don't know, may not be aware, depending on their age. And they are still children. They are not at that age where they are supposed to be coached with sexual aspects of life, looking at it from that sense. So I think these are two issues which are connected, because the abuse could be connected to the grooming and vice versa. And these are issues of concern, I think.
So hi, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, hi, my name is Alec and I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, so first thing first, what are your thoughts on child abuse and child grooming?
Okay, I think it's it's one of those things that is very sensitive topic to talk about, and not to mention that the topic is very diverse depending where you're coming from. Here in Malaysia, it's quite different. Also, where I come from is quite different. In general, I would say if you really think about it, there is like a different, it's very layered, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And then the first thing about it is, in general, of course, like child abuse is a no-no in every certain places, but even where you come from, right? It's like, it should be like common sense. But of course, it's a lot more complicated than that, because I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to child abuse and this topic of abuse in general, it's actually not as explicit as you think. From my experience of like reading and volunteering, especially I have come across volunteered in Sarawak for some of the NGOs. A lot of it, from what I see, is the victims usually gets abused because of some sort of parental figure or some sort of like authoritative figure is the cause for it. Sometimes it's because the child is not being looked after, therefore there's like sort of neglect, and from there it kind of branches out, and then it causes abuse to them. So child abuse, I would say, also is in general is splits into two, I would say. One is, of course, you go into the physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, and then the last one, which is sexual abuse. So in general, it's very multi-layered.
my name is Milena, and by now you must have been wondering which company that are supporting the 16th SDG. So the first one is a very well-known company, which is Microsoft. So Microsoft supports this through a technology called PhotoDNA, and PhotoDNA helps by analyzing images to identify harmful content such as child pornography images online. PhotoDNA, which includes child exploitation tracking system, has been used by law enforcement agencies to identify and remove illegal images from the internet by using image matching technology and help child sex abuse investigation with no cost. Child exploitation tracking system is currently used by agencies in Australia, Brazil, Belgium, Canada, Italy, United States, and United Kingdom. The second company is one of the leading providers of ICT to service providers company, which is Ericsson. Ericsson has teamed up with the We Take a Peace and Development Initiative, or known as WPDI, to support SDG 16 through youth engagement. Through its partnership with WPDI, the WPDI is using technology to engage and empower young people in conflict-affected areas of the world. Ericsson has provided the WPDI with mobile broadband connectivity and tablets, enabling them to expand their programs and reach more young people. By promoting youth engagement and education, Ericsson and the WPDI are helping to build strong and resilient communities and to promote peace and social justice in some of the most challenging parts of the world.
Using popular culture-based strategy may be a fantastic way to successfully reach out to audiences and create awareness about child abuse and child grooming. Digital media such as movies, music, and video games may be an efficient approach to capture the attention of listeners and viewers.
With intriguing stories and characters, films or television programs in themes or subjects may elicit conversation among audiences. Music and social media, on the other hand, have a much greater effect due to such lyrics and meaning and far simpler access to people's everyday lives. Furthermore, the ability of pop culture to convey positive ideas and counteract bad preconceptions might help to a greater cultural understanding.
We want to raise awareness about the problem since the value of popular culture is increasing among young people. We think that the next generation is the blueprint for shaping justice and peace. The impact of popular culture on young people cannot be underestimated, and it is critical to use this influence on educate them on social concerns such as justice and peace.
You're brainless, you're stupid, you're no child of mine!
Mummy, where are you? I don't like being on my own.
Not a word to anyone. This is going to be our little secret.